What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. Just got a freshie cut, a little trimmy. I didn't get to put it up or anything, but I just want to talk today about a couple things that I'm noticing. And now that I have a little bit of time to reflect, not being a procrastinator, getting on top of the things I need to do in my daily life, able to record a video. And one thing I want to talk about is just like, I understand tradition. I understand. So this video is going to be a little confusing because I'm asking a question, and I wish people would comment and we could have a dialogue on what do we think the purpose of this reality is. Because the purpose, so the realm, like I said, I won't argue anyone who doesn't believe that it's a suffering realm. I think this realm is to maybe it's to overcome suffering. Maybe the realm, like maybe we could also view it as, hey, this earth, this earth realm is just the emotion of suffering. You have to overcome it. But the thing is, you'll constantly, I'm laughing because I just thought about it. You can't even live life without suffering, because we will create the suffering. That's just how it works. If we all reach the utopian society that we truly want, and let's say I'm a leader, I'm going to be like, man, I'm bored. There's just like nothing to do. I'm going to get antsy. I'm going to be like, what is there to do? And you know what I'm going to create? Because this is what people don't understand. Once you create one thing, it opens up doors for everything. If I was the leader, because right now I'm going to keep it a bean. I know myself and I know exactly who I am and I can't lie about it. Entertainment is absolutely trash. And listen here right now. If we were in a utopian society, I'm going to bring back Gladiator. I'm going to have man on man fighting each other, woman on woman fighting each other to the death. But this is the thing. I'm showing you an example of how suffering then eventually, comes into a society, is by the use of the gladiator, right? That opens the door for selling human parts, right? Body parts, their hearts. Then that means there's an industry for that. And then that opens the door for human trafficking, because we need to force this industry to get bigger. And it just opens the door. Then that's how it opens the door to literally then slavery again, right? Where we need to have a beat of people who are fighting nonstop. It's the same thing that we have in this society. So I think maybe the purpose of our society is to constantly overcome the struggle, either, let's say, not even as a collective. Maybe it's just to overcome it within yourself. Maybe I need to be better and say, hey, Brandon, I don't want to watch the gladiators fight to the death. I need to be okay with never seeing that. So maybe I need to start telling myself to become fuller, is Brandon. Hey, there's some things that you'll never achieve or never see in this life, and you need to be okay with that. That's perfectly fine. I think I already do that, though. I'm completely fine with where the trajectory of my life may head. That's one thing, what a lot of people don't realize is, I think the issue of our society right now is that with internet, with access to everything, people think that everything is for them, and it's just not. That's a great segue, by the way. Wow, I'm really, really good at this. That's a really good segue for why I think education needs a reform. As you guys know, I am in the teaching field. Not everyone should be in school. It's a waste of time. And don't get me wrong, I hate the college is a waste of time already. No, it's not. College is actually, it's for people who, see, the issue is the college is a waste of time narrative started when we let a bunch of low IQ people go to school. That's the issue. Okay, you're going to go get your psych degree. Now what? Oh, you got an English degree. Now what? All the people who went to school for coding, for engineering, anything like that, they're doing well. Doctors, they're doing well. They're like, hey, I wish, education is the right way to go. But the thing is, we need to stop shaming people. Stop shaming people for not going to college. It's a waste of time. We need to stop shaming if you don't go to college. We need to have a whole ethos, outlook and change on how we view people who with education. If you don't want to go to high school, that's completely fine. Well, guess what? Education needs to offer outlets for kids who don't, listen, kids are smart. They'll tell you straight up, I'm not going to high school. I have students now. They're just like, I'm not going to high school. I'm smart, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to college. And then I have the students who are really fucking smart. They're like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do this. They already know. Some kids know. They just know right away. Why are we wasting money? That's another thing. We're wasting resources, education on this No Child Left Behind when what's the point if we have a 12th grader who can't read? What's the point? That's all those years, those 4 years that that person was wasting their time trying to learn to read and write, who clearly, see, that's the thing. You're going to say it's important, but that's because you're coming from a bias, this notion, this belief that everyone should, but we don't live in this should. We live in a reality. And the reality is society right now, 50% of adults can't read and write. That's actually a fact. That's a stat. You can Google it. 50%, who knows, it could be led astray. We don't know what their terms of illiterate are, but it's illiterate. 50% of adults are illiterate in the United States. So what does that mean? We're wasting 4 years of these kids. Who cares? Who cares that they're illiterate? If they're able to, what if this kid is an unbelievable architect? Let's even say he's unbelievable and creates new technology to help farm, and that's all he wants to do is farm. Well, why the fuck is he trying to learn how to read and write? Why is he trying to learn math? Why is he trying to do X things? He needs to go in another class. He needs to not be in school. We need to be on the field. I feel like, I don't know what happened to the programs where, kids could just go and take part in, these things. So education just needs a massive reform, honestly. Which leads to the point, like, not everything is for everyone. I understand why, these past societies had their, they had you had to test to go into school. I think it should be like that. We need the high IQ only people going to school. Because, frankly, I don't think the caste system, I mean, we already are in a caste system. That's like the issue, is that it's very subtle, right? If you're in $1 million home and the neighborhood is all $1 million, right? If your neighborhood is, all the homes are $1 million, you need an IQ level to be able to afford to live there. So everybody who does the work for your houses are lower IQ and is doing you're not going to see a guy who makes $1 million a year cut his grass. He doesn't care to cut his grass. But there's also nothing wrong with that, right? I don't know. We're just at this point where I think we live in this this fake, we need to do this, we need to do that. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a person being good at cutting grass, doing something with building walls, something like that, and they should be taken care of. I think that's an issue. We shouldn't have this looking down. We should also appreciate and look towards these people and say, hey, without this society, we couldn't run. This society couldn't function without these people, right? The barbers, the yard workers, the people who do the labor, that like we need them. But we also need the doctors. And I think people need to take a step back and say, hey, I am not going to be able to do that. Why waste our efforts? We need to just come. It's just the society that we created. Is just like you said, I think everybody thinks they can do everything. You can't. You can't. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the point, is learning what you should learn what you can't do first. Learn what I can't do so that I can learn all the things that I can do. The things you can't do, the things you can do outweigh the things you can do. Or, yeah, the things you can do outweigh the things you can't do. Okay, you can't do a couple things. Well, guess what? You can do a fucking 1,000 other things. But our society has put so much weight into monetary gain. We don't take care of our citizens. And this is the problem you create. You create people feeling the need to go to school, get into debt. And that's the funny thing. Without this debt system, we wouldn't have this inflated ego that we have now, right? Last point. Inflated egos. Banks, jobs are taking loans out to pay their employees. But in reality, if they couldn't take that money out, they wouldn't have a business. And then also reality is if I buy a home and I take a loan out to buy the home, in reality, without the debt, I wouldn't be able to buy the home. So if we were back before the debt system was created, you would also be homeless. You wouldn't be wealthy. That's what's so funny. Some wealthy people aren't even truly wealthy because they also are in massive amounts of debt. It's all an illusion, and we buy into this illusion. You really start, and then the thing is, once your hubris dies down, and you realize, and you take a step back and say, wow, society's fucked up because we're not all, and everyone's so disconnected, and not in a sense from they're disconnected from reality in a sense of because they think that eventually they'll be able to do, or this will change, or this will happen, and guess what? It's not. Because everyone's living in some fairy tale world. I'm eventually going to become a doctor. Bro, you're 35 years old. No, the fuck you ain't. And if anything, you should be fucking doing something else. Bro, let's just keep it a bean. You got to go to 10 years of school. Maybe you can become a doctor at 35. Yeah, for sure. Go to 10 years of school, or whatever it is, 15 years of school, and by 50, you're a doctor. 10 years to pay off your loans. Who knows? 5 years to pay off your loan, 55. I'm doing the math and just seeing if it's even worth it. And then so what? You're a doctor dude, that doesn't even sound like feasible, really. Who knows, with our life expectancy being cut to the point, you know what I mean? People are dying. I think this is the era where we're dying at such a younger rate than before. I said I was going to cut this video off, but I haven't made a video in a while, so bear with me. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying some real ass shit. Society needs to really take care of each other, man. We can't get nowhere without one another, but we can also go anywhere with one another. That's the thing. Society deems where we go. Everybody always said, maybe your vote maybe doesn't matter, but if everybody secretly abides by the notions and allows it to happen, then that means we all technically approve of it, right? You're guilty by association in a sense. Bro, I started recording this video and lots of strange behavior has been happening, and it's been very weird, but it's only because I'm recording this, knowledge-ass video. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Talked about education reform. We're wasting our time. Talked about, IQ, these neighborhoods, the debt system, how, it's faking your ego. Trying to think if there's anything else, really. I mean, I just think... And lastly, I'm going to say it again. Another statistic, white and black people. Please, we need to band together. This notion that we're against each other needs to stop. It really does. Like I said in the last video, people might not like that message. I don't care. But we live in this world where it's we live in this world where you're not allowed to address a problem. So you have to skirt around the problem because you're not allowed to even say what the problem is. Don't get me wrong. If we go back to the old caste system where you have to test out, blah, 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 you can still have your movements. You can still have your LGBTQs and everything's fine. No one's shunning. No one's shaming. It's because the ethos of the people. But in this society, bro, I'm telling y'all, the same several cars have been just going in circles around in front of me anyway. But we're in a society right now and I just told you, I saw the stat. 38% of foreign-born people are doctors here. And get this. If you were to go over, and this is the reality, and I get it. And the thing is, of course, you don't want to go live you want to live in America. Yeah, we all do. But the thing is, this is the cold reality of it. We don't have anywhere to go. Same with the Mexicans. They have nowhere to go. America is their home. Mexicans can't go to fucking black, brown, and white need to band together. We keep blaming each other. Mexicans are blaming the white man or the black man. Whites are blaming the black guys and the brown guys, and the blacks blaming both, dude. Like, meanwhile, we have nowhere to go. Meanwhile, we're just gonna kill each other, then everybody else comes in and takes over because we ain't got nowhere to go, bro. I've never heard, you know what's actually so funny? I just read an article about this Mexican immigrant in China who actually worked his way up through their system and became a doctor. That even sounds insane to you guys because it's not real. But you know what story you'll hear all the time? About an Indian or Chinese man coming over here, working their way up, becoming a doctor in our system. It happens. And guess what? You're never going to do that. That's not saying like, oh, they shouldn't be able to do that. Fuck yeah, they should be able to do that. That's not racist. It's the fact is, it is racist that I can't go over there. They're going to be quick. Bro, I was in Japan. I hate when I'm saying this shit and they're acting like it's not real life. I was in Japan and they straight up told me no black. They have no problem doing that. They got no problem. And guess what? I respect it. They're telling you straight up, yeah, we don't want no blacks. And then my friend was like, oh, maybe it's just blacks. Let me try to get in. He was like, no white neither. Bro, they don't want, if you not Japanese, you not in here. They have no problem doing that, but over in America, everything's PC. Everything's got to be do. Bro, meanwhile, these countries are they're far like more like superior in different ways because they're not focused on these dumbass issues that we're dealing with. 16 minutes. Okay, I'm about to go. But yeah, really think about that. You can't go nowhere. That should be scary to you, thinking that, damn, white, black, and brown, we have nowhere to go. America's the only place that we can go. A white person, see, that's the thing. A white person can go down to South America and work their way up. Because it's the Americas. Can't go down to nowhere else. So, you see why they perpetuate the hate between us? You'll really start to open your eyes and you realize how all these distractions are meaningless. We need to get our people educated, man. Black, brown students are so uneducated, and I see it because I teach them. It's unbelievable. It's unfair. We got also poor whites that are uneducated, and education should look different. Education shouldn't just look like, oh, you're learning math. No, we need to teach them about the world. We need to teach them about what's going on in our country, not this math, not this Shakespeare bullshit. What the fuck is that doing for them? The fuck? And then they're like, man, he might have ADHD because he doesn't give a fuck about Shakespeare. Oh, and then we're giving him pills. Oh my God, man. All right, I'm out. I hope you listen to every word I said. I feel like this is one of my best videos I've ever made, ever. Bye.